Hi, I'm going to start off with a recipe of mine that I've just modified and carried on. It's been passed down from my mom, and it was just something special that I thought that not too many people knew how to do, and it always turns out great. And I even do a birthday cake where I do 25 layers of Swedish pancakes, and this is my version of it. So the ingredients are quarter cup of sugar, 4 whole eggs. I usually go about large size. 1 cup of milk, 3 tablespoons of sour cream, and 3 tablespoons of butter, and then 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. And then last but not least is 1 cup of flour. So we start off, we need to get all the wet ingredients mixed together before we put the flour. So in my trusty little mixer there, I'll put in the flour, or sorry, that's the sugar, the eggs, the butter, and the sour cream, along with the milk. And don't want to forget the vanilla extract. I know it might seem a little weird with the sour cream and the butter, but it turns out great. It's more of a texture that I really enjoy. So we're going to mix that up without making a mess. All right, and it's very runny, so don't feel like you have to add more flour or anything to it. So you just want to mix that up, make sure there are no lumps. So just give it a second. You might use your spatula to push ingredients off of the side to help it mix a little better, a little quicker. Always lock your device, especially when mixing. All right, so that should be about it. It's very runny, so don't get discouraged when you see runny. And then per request, I like to do little tie-dye ones. So what I'll do is I'll add some coloring to it. So I'll portion it out just a little bit in each, leaving the last container to be your whatever color you really want it to be. So put a couple drops in of colors. It's up to you how bright you want them to be, or how, the contrast. Sometimes they don't come out, but they always taste good. The concept, you know what, I'm gonna go with red. We're just gonna go ahead and do all 4 colors. So you mix it up. Remember, it's really runny, so it's not that difficult to mix it up. You will find that you'll have to add some more colors to it, depending on how vibrant you really want it. Okay, so I have a hot plate here. Usually I do this on a cast iron skillet. I just get better heat distribution, so I enjoy doing it on the skillet. This one's just convenient. I can bring everything out and have it all in one place. So we get to the colors that we really want. here's the fun part, because you always get dirty. So I'm going to test out a little bit here. So basically the idea is to drop it down and then lightly make a thin sheet. So right now I'm just testing the heat of the hot pad or the hot plate. It should stick. I mean, instantly put it down, and if you tried to lift it up, it would stick. So I've been doing this a long time, and I use my hands to flip it. I don't necessarily recommend it. It just seems, I don't know, so much easier with my hands. Plus I've been working the restaurant business for a long time, so the feeling in my fingertips, I can kind of ignore it, and it's not a big deal. But, all right, hot plate needs to come up just a tad bit. Shouldn't take too much time. But basically the concept is you lay down your ingredients on here and you let it cook, you flip it over, and then you have a design on there. I will give my helper the first bite. I always treat the people that are with me to the spoils, and I try to get that to encourage my kiddos to want to learn to cook, as they get rewards. So I'm gonna go ahead and quiet please. So you just put it down. And you spiral it out. So you want to start from the center and spiral out. If you see any tears, you just fill it in with the batter. And what's going to eventually happen is the moisture is going to evaporate and it'll start to look dry. And so that's what you want. So right now it's cooking, and you can see the moisture evaporate on there, so that steam. So the second that steam stops, it's cooked. So all you need to do is, once it's completely dry, so you don't see any wet spots, and you're gonna go ahead and take your fingertips and grab from the top and roll up and flip. And then you're just gonna flip it over. If you don't feel comfortable using your hands, feel free to use a spatula. I don't use a fork on the surface there because of just scratching, and once it's scratched, and things start to stick. But then you take that, I did wash my hands many times. We're gonna take a plate. Now some of the things that you can use to fill these would be like custard, like a lemon custard. And so you wanna let it sit, and it's gonna steam. So that's it's gonna get this really yummy chewiness to it. Let me see if I can do another one. And it's all right, mix your colors. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's all, you're just gonna eat it. It's not gonna be I'd love it to be a masterpiece, but it just makes things fun and interesting. And I love making this for my kiddos. They look forward to it. But I'll make them a cake. It's 25 layers, and I fill the center of each layer with coconut cream and like a mousse pudding. And then I'll do a chocolate mousse on the outside, and I'll freeze it and cut it up, and it's fantastic. So with ingredients, so if you have, so let's see, sometimes I put peanut butter in it, sometimes I put jam or jelly, but you put a little layer of jelly in there, and you end up rolling them up so that they're like a tube shape. And you can either just eat them with your hands like this, or you can cut them up and pour a little more syrup. You can put some powdered sugar on it, it's also nice. But it's just fun. It kind of just brightens up your plate. It makes things exciting and joyful. So I mean, even if you have your kids have a hard time eating, possibly, you can make it interesting. You can give them a little art to try. And I'll do one more. I'll try with the yellow. Plus you can do with your color combinations. You can turn it into just a little art show. You know, what happens when you blend your colors? Make it entertaining, make it fun. And this doesn't cost very much at all. I mean, the ingredients most of us would have just laying around. And I think the only thing, the sour cream, the butter, those are things that that would cost the most. But it didn't take very long for me to put it together. And plus you get to just entertain people. So you just, once again, you start from the center, work your way out. You want to make sure that the crepe itself looks dry. It's not dry as in scorched, but it doesn't look wet like a mud. You'll be able to see it. How some people say when they cook pancakes to wait for the bubbles to rise through. This is something similar. The steam is what indicates to me, because I still see a little bit here. And at times you'll do a couple of these and you'll figure out where the temperature is on your hot plate. It changes. I can tell you that it's on extra hot, but to you it might work different. So you just be very careful. You're gonna flip it over. And then so afterwards, yeah, you don't have to flip it over and keep it on its top very long, just long enough to finish cooking. Sometimes you'll get these really neat rings that happen, and sometimes you can get them really thin, so I won't add color to them and I'll let them sit for a while, and you can actually pick them up and it almost look like stained glass because you'll be able to see through it. Woo, that's hot. It smells so good. So it has a consistency, like the texture, it's very chewy. It's not light and like if you were to make a pancake. They're very filling. They can be savory also. But these are what my tie-dye Swedish pancakes look like. And they taste fantastic, and you can make a whole bunch of them and you don't spend a whole heck of a lot of money. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to some feedback. Thank you.